A couple of days ago, I was doing what I always do in the morning, which is to make a cup of coffee. Very first thing, come into my living room, sit down on the couch, flip on the television set, use the Apple TV, and catch up on YouTube subscriptions. However, on this particular morning, I turned on the TV and it worked for about 3 minutes, and then the screen just went black. I have done everything and realized that after unplugging it several times, plugging it back in, disconnecting all the stuff that was connected to it, and plugging all that back in, my TV was shot. Now, it kind of reminded me of an old story that my dad used to tell, and I'm sure I'm telling it wrong, and I'll have to get some more information from my mom. But back when they lived in, I guess we all lived in Rochelle, Illinois, and I was probably about 3, maybe 4 at the time, so I don't really remember this. They had one of those really big television sets that sits on the floor, very heavy, black and white, I'm sure, and it died. And so my dad, who was an extremely strong individual, carried that TV outdoors, set it in the back of a pickup truck, and attempted to take it to the dump. Unfortunately for him, or maybe fortunately, the dump was closed. And so he came back home. He was disgusted. He couldn't leave it in the back of the truck, so he brought it back into the house, and he just kind of set it down with a thud in his disgust. And then suddenly, it worked again. Now, obviously, that was the old tube version of television sets, and a tube had either come loose or got dusty or whatever. I would love to set this television set on the ground with a thud and hope it worked again, but I'm afraid it would just be in about a bazillion different pieces. So instead, I went out to buy a new television set, and my heart said, you want to change your 60-inch television for an 80-inch television. You want this to be the man cave you always dreamed of. And so I went to Best Buy, and my pocketbook said, you're not getting an 80-inch television set this week. You're getting a 65-inch television set. It's still bigger, and you'll enjoy it. And so this is what I have. And hopefully it will last me many, many years to come. Well, a couple of you had asked in previous videos what the box was behind me, so now you know. My Samsung TV did me a lot of good for a long time, and then finally it was gone. There's nothing you can do about those things except just haul them off. So it's gone. First of all, I would like to thank my son-in-law, Zach, my daughter, Elise. They came over and helped me actually hang the new TV. Zach doesn't like to be on camera, and so I didn't put them on camera. They came from the lake. They weren't really dressed for that anyway. So that's why you didn't see it actually getting hung. On a whim, on a lark, on a whatever, I decided that I would make this video in shooting in ProRes Log. I haven't done that in a while, and I wanted to just kind of experiment. And if you're new to the channel and you're not familiar with that, the Apple 15 Pro and Apple 15 Pro Max will allow you to film in something called log. And log footage it captures a really wide range of light and dark. Much, if a regular video file captures this, log captures this, okay? And it allows you to manipulate the colors and everything much easier and better. So I did it in ProRes Log, and I did a simple color grade, very simple color grade, that I think you would have to admit the colors really popped. Probably weren't the best colors in the world, but they really popped. One of the issues that I ran into in editing, of course, is that there were a couple of clips that were overexposed or I should say they were more highly exposed, because I had the camera pointing at my door leading outside, so that I had all that light. And if it's overexposed like that, it's hard to edit that back down into a normal color tone in a video or even in a picture file. It's much better if you underexpose everything, which is why I typically shoot all of my videos. I adjust the exposure value down to a -3 or a -7, or if I'm outside on a sunny day, I'll take it all the way down to a -1. It just darkens the whole scene down so that I can bring a little bit of light back into it in processing. All that is really technical mumbo jumbo jargon, and suffice it to say, it kind of worked. When I am at the end of this year, or as I'm getting toward the end of this year, and I'm looking more toward making a regular kind of video, like a 5-minute story video once a week, I do plan to shoot it in ProRes Log. So I have to kind of practice along the way. Today was a practice site. Now, I'm not shooting this clip in ProRes Log, and you can tell the difference in the video, I'm sure, as you're watching it. And when I'm doing these, what I have begun to do at the end is just bump the saturation up just a little bit so that the scene doesn't look so washed out, because I'm usually in, a shirt that's, sort of a monochrome shirt, got a gray wall, I got a white fireplace. There's not a lot of color in this scene except right here. And I run the risk of that getting really, really red if I put too much color in. So anyway, that was the experiment with the video today, was color grading in ProRes Log. You can let me know what you think in the comments. I always appreciate your comments, and we will see you tomorrow.